What is up, Addicts? In this video, I'm giving a guide for this week's normal time trial, RC Bandito time trial, and the premium race totaling over $300,000. Remember, the time trials can only be completed once a week for the full $100,000 payout. The premium race, however, can be completed in a limited amount of times with a 48-minute cooldown between each win. Also keep in mind that rocket-powered / flying vehicles cannot be used in time trials. So, starting off with the time trial this week, which is at Burro Heights, I highly recommend Arali Hakachu Drag, Shotaro, Batty 801, Emerus, Krieger, Pariah, or Itali GTO for this time trial, but because of the extra time, there are many other vehicles you can complete it with. In terms of route, this time trial has a few shortcuts, but they're pretty simple and straightforward. The traffic in this time trial is very annoying, so a bike will be the easiest for this one in my opinion, so that you can dart between traffic. However, I did state in one of my other time trial videos that I will be attempting to use the podium vehicle of that week on these time trials if they're quick enough to complete them. So this week we have the Drift Yosemite on the podium, which has quite a low top speed, but the handling and acceleration is pretty good, so we can take corners a bit quicker. However, there is a long top speed section, but again, we're going to try our best. Because of the wide body on this vehicle, I did get hit quite a few times by traffic in my attempts, but again, for this time trial, I will be using a fully upgraded Drift Yosemite. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is Vespucci Canals. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. So this RC time trial is a bit tricky if you've never done it before because of the tight and slow sections, the pedestrians that sometimes get in the way, and on top of that, the traffic when you're attempting to cross the intersections, so make sure to brake a lot for the tight sections. Also make sure to let off the throttle during many of the bumpy high-speed corners so that you can maintain the stability of your Bandito. And lastly, when you use your brakes, make sure to press them in about halfway, not all the way, or you might lose control of the Bandito.
I'll get it biked over to the suite. Hey! Oh no! Fuck me! Damn it!
And lastly, we have this week's premium race, which is Business Trip. This one is restricted to the supercars class. I highly recommend either the Emirates, Krieger, or a Divest 8 for this race. The first part of this race is pretty easy. It's mainly top speed, so just make sure that you're constantly slipstreaming other drivers around you so you don't fall behind. The number one place where players mess up is this tight section right here. What I like to do is let off the throttle for a couple seconds before I get to that section, and then get back on the throttle once I've gone through it. And if you're going in with way too much speed and you're slipstreaming right as you're getting into that part, just make sure you brake. That section cannot be taken at full speed if you use one of the 3 vehicles I recommended, so make sure to either let off the throttle or brake depending on how fast you're going. The other corners of the race are pretty easy. Just take them slow and make sure you brake a lot extra as you approach them, especially if you're far ahead and almost everybody else messed up at that section I mentioned. You will pretty much have a guaranteed win if you take those other corners very slow. Also, for those of you who don't know, sidewalks and curbs act as a speed boost, so that's why you might see me purposely going on and off curbs. But anyways, for this race, I will be using a fully upgraded Emirates. And that's it, guys. A normal time trial is pretty easy if you use one of the bikes I mentioned and can avoid the traffic. The RC time trial is pretty difficult if you've never done it before, but just brake a lot extra for many of the corners and you'll be fine. And this week's premium race is pretty easy if you can avoid crashing in the section that I mentioned. Again, remember guys, you can earn over $300,000 between the 3 this week, and setting yourself to go to beat them is always a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know which one you found most difficult and what vehicles you used down below in the comments, especially if you challenge yourself and you use the drift Yosemite. Let me know what time you get in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.